Getting over the great guy who does not want you. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where I teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. Now, what is this title I am talking about? Some of us have met some incredible guys. I get it from you ladies all the time. I've met this high value man. He was so good. He was so great. He did everything that you say on your channel. I mean, he ticked every box. And I think that I said something, did something, and now he doesn't even want to know. He's not interested, he's not returning my calls, he's not whatever. So I have obviously done something and I want to make sure that I get him back. And sometimes even in the comments I get, you know, I lost a really high value man. Is it possible for me to get him back? Etc, etc, etc. Listen to me, ladies. This happens quite commonly. And this is really about your ego. It's really about your abandonment issues. It's really about the kind of conversation you have with yourself and the stories that you're telling yourself, because 99.9% of the time we are not willing to accept the obvious and the truth. Okay, so let's just start with the fact that assuming that you did not behave in a low value way, you were not rude, you were not masculine, you were not swearing, you were not doing any of the low value things that I discuss on this channel. If you want to know what those are, please go and check out the low value versus high value playlist, because they will have everything in there for you to check out. So assuming that you have not been doing any of those things and you have been showing up as a high value black swan and you are great company, of course, yes, sometimes we will have one too many drinks. You know, I am not much of a drinker, and I went on a date once with a guy who is fantastic. I had one drink and I was hardly able to stand upright, because guess what? I don't drink a lot, so it's going to go to my head way quicker than if I did. This doesn't make me low value or made me low value, because he could tell I only had one drink. But the reality of the matter was this follows, that I just was not what he was looking for. Now, we need to be okay with that. If we're going to be black swans, if we're going to truly find a man that is going to make us an offer that we simply cannot refuse, we have to be okay with the reality that we are not going to be every high quality, high value man's cup of tea. No matter how beautiful we are, no matter how kind, thoughtful, high value we are, it does not give us an automatic ticket to being his choice, okay? And it doesn't necessarily mean that he has a better, or that he has found a superior version of you as a black swan. Some men are just after certain things that you are not in a position to give them. And we need to be okay to know that we showed up at our best and he showed up at his best. He was the chivalrous gentleman. He was the loving person. He was all of these things. And really, at the end of the day, he was there to help and assist us and just make us feel amazing and wonderful. And we can take that lesson away. We can take that moment away. You know, I was sharing my client the other day about a gentleman that I went on a date with. He was fantastic. He had depth. He had everything that I want in the box. And I knew that I put on my list in every way. He was deep. He was thoughtful. He was considerate. He was a gentleman. He was just the perfect guy, as far as I was concerned, from my initial assessment. Now, we went on a date and he behaved immaculately. And of course, I behaved like the black swan that I am. Afterwards, he kind of sent me a nice little message the following day and said, "Thank you so much. It was a wonderful evening, the perfect gentleman." And I knew energetically that he was no longer interested, that he wasn't really interested in pursuing it any further. Of course, my ego took a dent, because I was like, I am the black swan queen. Okay. And I was like, you know, really, hello. But the reality of it is I really had to sit down with myself and realize the following. It's okay for you to be a high value black queen and not be a man's first choice. Now, I really wanted to understand what on earth would make a man not make me his first choice, because hello, right? So my my ego was a little bit bruised. And no, he didn't say he didn't want to see me again. But I know, I've been in this business long enough. I know how it flows. And I know when the energy is not right. I know when a man really wants me. I know when a man is committed to a journey with me. And I know when he's half-hearted and not quite invested. And I know when I say something or do something that would trigger a man or make him feel like I'm low value or offend him in one shape, way, or form. So I did the whole full scan, and yeah, I could have said things differently, moved a little bit differently. But really, I know that if a man really wants to stay, the bottom line is there is nothing that you will say and very few things that you will do to make that man reconsider his desire and his choice if you are his choice. The guys you want don't want you, and the ones you don't want simply won't leave you alone. They say you are picky and have impossible standards. Your partner has lost attraction for you and you have no idea if he will stay or progress the relationship. The harder you try, the further he pulls away. You are starting to think you are cursed, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, you are not uniquely broken. You are simply ill-informed, uneducated, and ill-equipped. All the things that can be fixed. I am offering you an all-access pass into the Black Swan Nation, where you will receive access to all of the courses, mentoring and coaching calls. We are also offering a 100% no quibble money back guarantee if the academy isn't a fit for you. What are you waiting for? Get smart, be educated, and level up. Do it absolutely right now by clicking the link below. White men have become really bold. I remember when I was younger and dating white guys, they were more scared to approach a black girl. But now, literally every guy that that has stopped me or tried to get my attention while I've been talking to you is a white guy. So I said it's really bizarre because black men don't tend to do that around me as much. And then he said, well, that's because they can read that, you're not part of the black culture. You're not, so I was like, you're not black enough or something to that effect. And I was like, what is being black enough? And then he wasn't being insulting, but, he spoke about how well-spoken I am and how I come across differently. And most black men will probably look at me and think, okay, she's not, she's not. I would say really what he was trying to say is that I don't fit into the culture that has become black. Okay. I find that absurd and funny because not only am I black, but I'm actually African and I speak an African language and I, cook. I mean, how black does a girl have to be, right? But that's besides the point. What he was really talking about was the definition of black culture within the United Kingdom. And clearly, yes, I'm not street and there's certain things I just don't, participate in as if that is black culture, because I really don't believe that, there's such a thing as being black enough, not being black enough. I really don't understand that. But clearly he was making a point. We didn't really go into it much because we had other things that were more intelligent and exciting to talk about, and so we continued. So after this event happened, I looked on his WhatsApp and I realized that what he really wanted was a woman that he could drink through the night. When he came for my date, he parked his car. He wanted to, he said he wanted to drink, so let's just go off. And so we got an Uber, and he realized very quickly that I'll quite happily drink water throughout the evening because I'm not much of a drinker. So he kind of ordered me a drink, kind of just bring her a drink. And so I thought, well, I'll play along and not be a complete bore. And he could tell quite easily that I was already like tipsy because really I hadn't eaten anything all day and I'm not much of a drinker, so my body responds to alcohol really quickly. So he was kind of like, oh my god, this is so cute, you've literally turned into a whole different person. I must have been really giggly and really whatever, and that's just over one drink. And he thought it was completely cute. I thought it was bizarre. I thought it was weird. But when I started to look at the sort of lifestyle that he has, he's the guy who wants to go drinking with his woman. He was really drinking strong drink, no chasers, hard stuff throughout the whole evening. And he wasn't even looking like he was almost gonna pass out, and I was almost falling apart on, a mojito. And so, you know, I realized that the kind of woman that he wants, the woman that he can go out with for, you know, for drinks and spend all night drinking and enjoying cocktails and talking about life. He doesn't want to be with a lightweight like me who's just going to be like, let me go home now. And I also realized that he's a guy that he says he smokes casually. And, you know, he wants to be able to sort of go home and have, you know, some weed or a bit of a smoke with his woman and get high and drink. And that's okay. I'm not that girl. So it then made a lot of sense that actually he is a great guy, very intelligent, very, gosh, his mind, his spirit, his heart, everything that I look for in a man was ticking the boxes. But we had a lifestyle incompatibility. And so, you know, we need to realize that, and, you know, he was not going to be able to articulate it to me. He just felt intuitively within himself that this is really not the kind of thing I'm going for. You know, he wants somebody who is blacker than me, I guess. And so, you know, we can, and he has every right to that. So we can sometimes feel, you know, oh my gosh, it's a great high value guy. How do I get him back? Sometimes we just have to accept that no matter how high value is, and no matter how much he was showing up for you, no matter how great he was as a person, you know, he isn't necessarily for you. He isn't necessarily capable of loving you the way you deserve. And sometimes men will deselect themselves when they figure out that you're a different caliber of woman from the one they want. We've got to be okay, ladies, with losing really great guys. I know it sucks, especially in this horrible dating market where you have to go through a lot of frogs before you get to a prince. And when you get to that prince, you want to have him choose you the way that you have chosen him. But we have to understand that they have every right to not choose you. They are great guys. They won't regret losing you. I know sometimes we like to feel like, oh my God, he let me go. He's gonna regret losing me. No, he won't regret losing you. But he may miss the idea of you, and maybe now and again he might think about you, but he won't regret losing you because you are not compatible. Now obviously, if I was a low value woman, I'd have stuck around, try to chase him, try to signal him, try to do all of these desperate things that women do. But in this instance, I was really able to just have a perfectly normal conversation with him. We're able to iron out some things. I think he was a little bit shocked because unfortunately I'm a very straight talking person. I'm very clear. Communication is paramount for me. I don't do these whole crazy energy things. I call out whatever doesn't sound right. So he was, you know, good enough and kind enough, and he apologized for, you know, just some of the stuff that he had done. And, you know, we were able to put that beside us. I did not pursue a friendship with him. I deleted him from my contacts because I don't like stagnant energy or men orbiting around me, you know. So basically that was pretty much that. And so we have to be high value enough to choose ourselves. We've got to be high value enough to select ourselves, to select what's best for us, and to open up the conversation. Because if you are attracting this high value quality guy and he doesn't want to be with you, this is a good sign. It means that you are now at the level where you're attracting high value guys. Now after him, I met an even better guy, a man who absolutely wanted everything about me, who was in every way showing up and being amazing, who really wanted. Now if I had stuck around thinking, oh my God, I really want him, or allowed that abandonment wound to lead me to stay with him when he didn't want to stay, I would have wasted years of my life. It's perfectly okay to let go of the good to make room for better, or in fact best. It's good to be able to say this is a good thing, but this good thing doesn't want me, and therefore it's not good enough for me. I hope that this video has helped you and that you can let go of that great guy who simply doesn't want to be with you and not make it mean anything about you. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots. Bye bye now.